What's going on, Wrestling family? Welcome back to Hear These Thoughts. So, there has been some information circulating the IWC stating that WWE and TKO has hit an all-time high of Super Saiyan greediness, okay? And based upon the information that's out there, they're stating that WWE is going to enforce a blackout this weekend in the city of Chicago to stop all local restaurants, local bars, any public venues from having an Elimination Chamber watch party. And based upon the information, they're doing it to keep the people who would rather go to the bar from doing that, but instead go to the United Center and pay for the tickets to go to the chamber and help out their ticket sales in order for Triple H to come out and brag about it later on in the show. Because you know that's exactly what he's going to do. Now, that whole strategy is so flawed, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds. But I want to let you guys know this. I've decided to do my own due diligence to try to figure out with some of the restaurants and bars, because if you didn't know, I am from Chicago, so I know which bars typically show WWE events or sporting events, from UFC to soccer and all these other places. And if you are from Chicago, you know what these places are. Now, I didn't contact all of them. I just contacted a handful of them. So maybe this applies for this small group, but not for everybody else. Okay, so before we get into what they said, let's just talk about the strategy that WWE is trying to enforce, if this is what they're trying to enforce, right? If they're really trying to do this, this is stupid. It's really stupid. Like, WWE, we got to use some common sense here, okay? And now, this isn't for me to defend or harp on WWE. I don't care about the company itself. I'm here for the truth, and specifically for the people in Chicago, okay? If people are going to the bar, if they're a wrestling fan and they're going to the bar or a restaurant to watch this event, there are a couple of things true about this person. Number one, they don't have the money to buy tickets for the chamber. Number two, they don't want to spend the money for tickets for the chamber. Number three, they don't want to be in this large group of strangers. They would rather be in a confined space at the bar with only a couple of people and maybe a couple of their friends to watch it, right? Maybe they don't have the means to travel all the way to the United Center, because Chicago is a big city. So if you're going to stop it everywhere in Chicago, that's pretty crazy. And number four, they don't want to pay for parking at the United Center. So what makes you think that if you black out restaurants and local bars, that the people who fit in those categories I talk about is all of a sudden like, oh, you know what? Today I want to be an extrovert. You know what? Today I got an extra $5,000 to sit in the nosebleed section. Why do you think that they are going to all of a sudden decide to go to the chamber? That makes no sense at all. That is a terrible shot. Now, if they're doing this to try to get people like, hey, you can't watch it for free, we want all y'all to subscribe to ESPN Unlimited personally to get more sales on that end of it, that is terrible and greedy. But that makes more sense than to assume that these people are going to find a way to physically go to the chamber. I live close. I'm not even going to the chamber, and I probably can get a ticket, but I don't want to go. And there's nothing they can do to make me want to go. They can black out whatever they want to black out. I'm still not going to be there, okay? So the whole strategy is terrible, is flawed, and it doesn't make any sense. Now, based upon the restaurants I've contacted and the bars, for the most part, and maybe there's some higher ups who will have more information. I've kind of done that with some people. But for the most part, the ones who are planning on having the watch party are still going to have the watch party. Now, they are aware of the information that's been going around about this blackout, but they have not been, professionally, I guess is the way you say it, informed by WWE to let them know that, no, you're not having that party this weekend. They have not heard anything straight from WWE or TKO or Endeavor or ESPN stating that they cannot show this stuff, because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, in these bars and restaurants, ESPN has been played all day, every day, especially for like UFC, especially for football, so in this situation, to have that happen is really, really weird. And if WWE is actually going to do this, there's so many places you can do this to. But when it comes to the people in the city of Chicago, that's not a relationship when it comes to people who want to invest in your brand that you want to mess up. That is not a place that you want to mess up, and WWE knows that, because WWE, let's be honest here, okay? We understand that you're the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, but when it comes to the city of Chicago, you are not the only one here. There are hundreds of wrestling promotions here, far cheaper, far easier to access. So if you want to screw over the people in Chicago, and you're already doing that by, you're taking the money from the people in Chicago, but also you're not even giving back by giving these local businesses an opportunity to reap the benefits of you being here, even though you're taking money from people in the city of Chicago. Now, I do understand that there are people traveling from outside of Chicago to come here to watch the chamber, but still, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So as far as I understand, the blackout isn't true for a couple of restaurants, but again, they have not been told yet. For all we know, WWE loves to do things last minute. They may tell them on Friday, like, remember that watch party y'all was going to do? And forget about it. But if you know people in Chicago, I'll just leave it at that. But at the end of the day, if you guys have heard any other information, and please, 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 I know people like to do stuff for content. Please don't go calling these restaurants. Please don't call these bars and stuff like that. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. And that's not what I did. I just didn't randomly call these places. There's some people who worked these places that I know, and I kind of spoke to them about it and some other things. But anyway, this, hey, it could be true. It could not be true. As of today, is not true. I thought it was kind of strange that some of these articles that were put out were by some outlets that I probably never heard of, but I'm not on the internet all day, so maybe these places are a lot more legitimate than I think they are. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute, peace, have a great day.